You know what this is. It's a George Foreman grill. Hello, Universe fans and all those who happen to watch. Alright, so today we're talking about the PlayStation 3. This, of course, is the second generation for the console launches. Well, theoretically speaking, sort of, half a dozen later, I guess. Whatever, I'm not going to get into specific details. But, alright, with this review, of course, I am going to provide footage at the end of it, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so what you see right here is the slim model for the PS3. Quite frankly, it's still somewhat of a large console. Not as large as the Atari 5200, but, there's room for an improvement, I guess. And, alright, so you notice right here, there's a eject button, and there is a power button, and depower button that makes stuff go on and off. Kind of like a girlfriend, yeah. Alright, as you can notice as well, there's no tray to this at all. This is due to the fact, of course, that there's absolutely... To Sony, it's absolutely no reason to have a tray that pops out. You end up kicking into it, you bump into it, you grind into it. I can see the purpose and point of that. With this console, of course, it somewhat auto-detects when there's a CD in the place. It takes it in. Blue light indicates that it accepted the disc. That means it's on. And you get your beautiful presentation of PlayStation 3 right then and there. Of course, to get into the system, you obviously have to confirm it with the X button. Now, I'm not trying to break this into a tutorial at all or any means whatsoever, but I'm going to talk about the controller next. As you can tell right here, this console can fit up to 4 players via console controller. To activate the controller, you obviously activate it by signifying it by pressing the home button, or in this case, the PlayStation Sony button. You just press it. You want to log into your specific account. Say, for instance, you want to go into that one or that one. You just want to go into your default one. Go into that. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You were welcomed by anime goodness.
Alright, so replacing the obvious anime babes is a totem black man. So, with that said, of course, due to the fact that the graphic nature of this program is more balanced towards children and everybody else, get it in the van, please. Anyway, alright, as you guys can tell right here, the dashboard is pretty simplistic. It has a nice little clicky noise when you move across. It also has, selections of photos, music, video, and obviously the main essential to the entire console, video games. I'll get into some gameplay footage, obviously a little bit later for Little Big Planet, demonstrating and showing off, obviously, the gameplay. With that said, you also have the PlayStation Home, which I actually think is actually a pretty cool idea. I like it. But they need to obviously utilize it a little bit more and, put some more freaking games we can all play together. I mean, if I have to wait in line for bowling, that's kind of BS, personally, even though it is close.
Stop a nuclear war! At the game bar!
Obviously a beta. So, alright. As you can also tell, the settings in this is also quite interesting because you can also connect printer to this console, which I didn't... It's like one step closer to being a freaking computer. It might as well be a computer. Most people do mod these things to be computers. Printer settings. Are you serious? I think, again, this is kind of a cool idea. If you like looking up cheat codes or whatever, if you tell that type of people, you could print it out at your console. You don't have to get up to your computer and go access the internet, print it out at your computer. If you're the type of people who are just going to use the printer for cheat codes or porn or whatever, it's practically right there at your console's fingertips. You just plug it into the USB port if you have a USB presented printer, and you can print it out. Obviously, too, you also have your definition settings, or your display settings, as I like to everyone calls it, but I call it definition settings because you have to switch between 1080p to standard definition. But From this point over here also, you can also access this. So if you're like, say for instance, being a screen capper, you can exit the game you're currently in. Yeah, sadly I know. And then you can switch to settings on the fly. You don't have to power down the console. You don't have to reset it or anything. You just exit out, go to the dashboard, swap it to HDMI mode if you decide to play it straightforward after the game footage is over or whatever. And you can get into it. Obviously the rest you can't really have to look too much into. Yes, you could also connect your PSP to this console as well, which I thought was pretty darn cool. You can obviously remote play most of your console games that you downloaded. Say for instance you have Bionic Commando Rearmed, and you also have a PSP, but you want to take the experience on the road. With this right here, you can practically take the game and remotely play it into your PSP and drag the game along with you, pardon the pun. Also, from the slight array of classic PlayStation 1 games, there is going to be PlayStation 2 games that be able to up for download pretty soon up on their store. So look forward to that. But, you know, there's other things I could talk about this console, like the detailed specs, the resolutions, and all that. But I think I'll just leave that in this video for you guys to see for yourself. That way you guys can read it if you really care. So with that said, I am going to be playing a little bit of Little Big Planet here and a couple other games. So, hope you guys enjoyed the footage, and don't forget to leave feedback down below. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the footage.
Round one, fight!
KO! You win! 大丈夫